Afghanistan's cultural heritage is fragile. And not just from 30 years of war. In the 70s, this mysterious fragment of fortification was photographed. Time, erosion, reuse have all played a part. Soon down this narrow mountain pass will come the heavy lorries of the mining extraction industry, a crucial resource for the future of Afghanistan.
Afghans are a proud people, and the pride comes from their past, from their heritage. Being a country that always functioned as a point of transfer of knowledge, ideas, and goods. That's why we are the center of the Silk Road. We also want development. We want to also live in comfort and use the natural resources that have been endowed on these people by Almighty God.
This project is a strategic partnership between UNESCO and the World Bank in support of the Afghan government to strike a balance between economic development and protecting the cultural heritage of the country.
The sheer scale of the remains at Mes Aynak are staggering, so much so that saving Mes Aynak has become a cause célèbre on the world conservation stage. The Chinese mining company or the Afghan government compete for being the villain of the piece. But of course the reality is much more nuanced than that.
In the beginning, of course, it was more like we had the international group and the Ministry of Information and Culture. At that time, I was the Deputy Minister of Culture. It wasn't that bad, but there was a misunderstanding between both of them. So they were acting like they have the side and they were acting that they have the side. The whole goal is this, that we have to finish this site. As an archaeologist, it is my duty to preserve my cultural heritage. But from the other side, if you see, you can't preserve it without the development.
There has to be an understanding that what is going to happen here, the eventual transformation of this site into a major industrial area, it has actually enabled the world to uncover one of the most magnificent places that have been discovered in the last decades. What the archaeologists are actually doing right now is trying to understand the historical context of this site and at the same time preserve as much material as we are encountering. The 3D modeling and the laser scanning, which actually is going to prepare a complete 3D of the site in order to model it in computers and have not only the Afghan people to see it and walk through it and admire the contents of it, but also for the international community that cannot come all the way to Afghanistan to have the same experience.
Meanwhile, a new approach has been taken to other mining sites.
We're very proud of the project. It's a solid alliance, a good partnership that we have with the mining industry in Afghanistan, the Ministry of Mines and Petroleum, and the Ministry of Information and Culture, working together to try to preserve Afghan heritage. Once the survey and the mapping is done, at that point, then the government will be better informed to preserve Afghanistan treasures.
در قسمت هاجیگک هم یونسکو هم دخیل است در این پروژه که با هماهنگی وزارت معدن، اطلاعات فرهنگ و یونسکو بالای از این پروژه کار میکنن که یک مقدار سروی هم صورت گرفته از طرف متخصصین یونسکو در خود ساحه هاجیگک لا دره کالو که بعضی ساحات تاریخی هم تثبیت شده در اونجا و امیدوار هستم که ما بتانیم با هماهنگی مشترک ارگان‌های زیربط این پروژه را به پیش ببریم و این ساحات تاریخی را حفظ بکنیم.
DAFA is definitely a partner of the World Bank and UNESCO in the project, and our aim is to work on the archaeological view of the project. So we are here to make the archaeological screening, so find the sites and make an assessment on those sites in order to protect them. Because the World Bank, UNESCO, and us and the Afghan government wanted to avoid a new Mes Aynak somewhere else.
Well, once the archaeological mapping and survey is completed and the cultural heritage that is there has been identified, that places the government in a better position where they are able to design and implement a management plan, what to do with the site itself. And that would include identifying the best methodologies, whether it be removal, remain in place, or preservation of artifacts that are there.
But mine is not the only issue for the cultural heritage, because if you have mines, you will have roads, you will have industries around, you will have housing for the workers. So all those aspects will also threaten the cultural heritage. So we have to take in account not only proper mines area, but have a wider view of the area.
So for Hajigak, it's more about a general landscape preservation, not really about the site itself, because it's inscribed on the World Heritage List, and the landscape may be affected by the building of settlements for the mine, needed for the mine.
Mining has yet to start, and the UNESCO initiative has been busy mapping the archaeological remains and working out how to preserve the cultural heritage. The work starts with identification, but how do you identify areas that are difficult to visit because they are remote or for security reasons? And to get a wide view, you need to stand back. The answer is satellite imagery.
The use of satellite images is a big advance in our work, because there's many places where for security reasons we cannot go and we cannot work properly.
We decided to start our work collecting different maps of Afghanistan, satellite images coming from different sources, and also aerial photography. So after that, we start with some of that mines area. We decide to create a fishnet and to work on this fishnet, just looking in every 1 kilometer square, looking for new sites.
This is a living landscape, and a big part of the project is to preserve the environment and economy for the people of the area, while benefiting Afghanistan as a whole.
مفاد از این رسه که موشک یک کاری در اونجا بلدهش پیدا شود. خب بینمی دیگه بلده برار ما یا پدر ما یک کاری در اونجا مساعد شود که همی بغیر از اینکه کاری دهقانی نه در اونجا کار کنه.
معدن در کل مملکت افغانستان فایده داره. معدن که خارج نکنه خودی افغانستان بودجه نداره. این هم در محل فایده داره، هم در خود افغانستان فایده زیاد داره.
With all these wars and 30-40 years, what the Afghan has lost, we lost our identity. And I believe to give him back that identity is only through culture. Because when it comes to culture, all Afghans are united.
خب معمولا اگه نظر شخصی خودم باشه حفاظت از آثار باستانی، چون که همین آثار باستانی که ما مثلا مخصوصا توی خود ولایت بامیان داریم، اینا کلا برگرفته شده از همین رسم و رسوم گذشته‌های از ما هست که باید اونا رو به صورت دقیق مراقبت کنیم از اونا، که میتونیم از مثلا تحقیقات که در مورد اونا انجام میدیم یک چیزی رو از گذشته یاد بگیریم.
We remember the cries of the Afghans over the destruction of the Buddha statues in Bamiyan, and nobody on earth is so much in love with their heritage more than the Afghans themselves. So I assure everybody who is concerned, while acknowledging their concern, that the citizens of Afghanistan, each one of them is a protectorate of their heritage, and we will not allow our heritage to be stampeded by development agendas of unsustainable nature.